my name is Dr. Marion Owen and I'm with Whole Family Medicine. And I want to talk to you today about something that patients ask me about all the time, which is what is the best diet for me to be following. I want to talk with you today about the different dietary plans that I see being recommended, what some of the pitfalls of them are, what some of the benefits of them might be, and try and clear up some dietary confusion. What I see clinically more than anything else is a condition that's called orthorexia, which is being so concerned about eating the correct thing that people's diets are becoming exceedingly limited in a way that is in fact unhealthy. And that, I would say, is the most common dietary mistake that I see patients doing. We are all very confused because every time we get a new news story, it seems like the rules are changing. It used to be that absolutely you shouldn't eat animal fat, no butter, no ghee. Then suddenly butter and saturated fat are in fact good for you, and we've been lied to, and we should all be eating a lot more of that. And that's not true either. Low-fat diet or high-fat diet. Should I eat no meat? Are fish good or fish bad? What about mercury? Are eggs okay? Eggs aren't okay. Salt's bad for you. No, not enough salt will kill you. All of these things get blown up in the media, and somewhere in the middle of all of that hype, there is truth. And I think the truth is, generally speaking, moderation. So I'm going to move through some of the diets that I see people gravitating to and kind of try to go through the risks and benefits of each one. I want to start with the current most popular diet that my patients are on, which is paleo. Paleo diet is not clearly defined. When I use the word paleo to describe a dietary pattern, I mean someone who is intentionally avoiding dairy and grain. And most paleo followers also avoid beans. Paleo diet can be very healthy. The pitfalls that most people who do paleo fall into would be consuming way too much processed meat. We know that processed meat is not good for us. It contains a lot of saturated fat, which in many people does cause high cholesterol, not in everyone. But it can, and I see it happening a lot. It happened in me, that when you increase saturated fat intake, your cholesterol parameters can get worse. For some people, they get better because they're also avoiding simple carbohydrates, which is good. The paleo diet plan, when you go online and look up recipes, there's a lot of recipes for bread replacements and how you can have desserts on a paleo plan. And that's important to try and figure out for your family, but that kind of gives you the sense that that's what you're supposed to be eating if you're on a paleo plan. And I think that's where people go wrong. They eat a lot of meat and they eat a lot of replacement starches. But a paleo diet, rightly understood, would be predominantly vegetables with a little bit of meat, and then no grain, no beans, no dairy for the paleo. Now, I don't think that it's necessary to be that extremely restrictive, but that's what the paleo diet is. And so the fault that I see people making, the flaw, is not eating enough of the vegetables and thinking that what paleo is and what healthy is just eating a lot of meat all the time, a lot of meat and eggs. And that's actually not a healthy way to eat. Next commonmost diet I see people trying to adopt is the vegan, the forks over knives phenomenon. And I think vegan eating can be very healthy. What I find for most vegans, and vegans would be people who avoid eating any animal products. So all meat is out, all animal fat is out, no eggs and no dairy. That is how I'm defining vegan in this conversation. When you take all of those out of your diet, you're losing an important source of healthy fat, omega-3 fats. And so that's the first thing I see lacking in people who are vegan, is that they're not getting enough of that omega-3. So you have to seek that out. That's in flaxseed, chia seed, and walnuts, but you also get a lot of omega-6s with those particular fat sources. So it's hard to get enough omega-3 if you're not eating any cold water fish. So that is a supplement you might consider taking if you are going to be a vegan. The other thing you pretty much cut out of your diet when you adopt a vegan lifestyle is vitamin B12. And vitamin B12 is a very essential nutrient for your neurologic health, so for brain health. You can get B12 in nutritional yeast if you prefer to get it from food only, but I would encourage you to look that up. I'm not sure how much nutritional yeast you'd have to eat to get enough B12, and we can certainly keep an eye on your B12 levels if you choose to be a vegan. But those are the two gaps that I really see there. Plus, there's a tendency in quick vegan to lean too much on simple carbohydrates and grains, which are not themselves very nutritious. So it's to be a healthy vegan, you have to plan for that complete protein. You have to plan to get the colorful fruits and vegetables in addition to just filling up on kind of nuts and seeds and grains. That's the other flaw you might find. A lot of my patients opt to be vegetarians, and I think, again, the vegetarian diet pattern can be very, very healthy, choosing to limit just meat sources. So vegetarians, an ovo-lacto vegetarian, one who also does dairy and eggs, I think is a pretty good diet plan and covers most of the essential nutrients very, very well. Again, one thing you might need to seek is omega-3 fats, because those are harder to get when you're not eating cold water fish. The Mediterranean diet plan is the one that I am most comfortable recommending. I think most people have the easiest time following it. It starts with a base of most Mediterranean plans you look up will have a lot more grains than I typically will recommend, but I'm comfortable with people eating grain. I think grains have a lot of nutritional value for most people. So the base diet of good whole grains, not processed grains, lots of colorful fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, olive oil, olives, a little bit of meat, kind of meat as a condiment, not meat as the main thing, and a little bit of red wine, which is also a nice thing to add if you don't have a problem with alcohol. So that's my run through of the major diet plans that I see. And again, as a general rule, I think that the Mediterranean is both the easiest to follow, the easiest to maintain when you are eating out from time to time, and it's probably the one that has the least risk of nutritional pitfalls. What is definitely true in all eating is that a variety of flavors can replace sugar and salt. So in any of these meal plans, to increase flavor and increase food pleasure, adding herbs, spices, garlics and onions, things like that to increase the flavor of your food will increase your pleasure in your food and increase your satisfaction with what you've eaten and decrease the amount that you want to eat. You will never get overweight if you're eating extra green vegetables, so help yourself, learn how you like them, lightly sauteed, bright green in a salad with a good salad dressing on it, but enjoy those green leafy vegetables. Nuts are a great healthy snack for anyone on any diet plan. I prefer them when they're bought raw, soaked, and dehydrated, but even if you can't do that, nuts are a great snack. Seeds are a wonderful source of nutrition that are often overlooked. Pumpkin seeds are one of my favorite things to throw onto a green salad to add both healthy fat and protein. Fruits are as sweet as anything you need to eat, so tamping down your sweet tooth and increasing your fruit intake to get that sweet satisfaction. Fruits are a great way to reward yourself at the end of a healthy meal as a dessert. Olive oil is something that is absolutely wonderful for us, and you should cook with it a lot. It is fine to heat it at a medium heat. You don't want to overheat it and get it smoky, but it's a wonderful monounsaturated fat that's great for the brain, wonderful for cholesterol, and also helps the meal be more filling. And animal products are fine for most people as long as they're in limited amounts. That would be my general dietary advice. I know that's kind of broad sweep, and I don't think one plan fits all people, but those general rules are pretty safe to follow, and I hope that helps you navigate the dietary rules that are out there with a little more ease.